I just want to make this presentation really clear. We are not operating in a flow of honesty that you see that rarely exists. We are not up against, a calm presence of ongoing waves. We are up against a tsunami that is taking place, and it's crashing all on every atmosphere that you may be in, that you may see, in every surface. And it's a matter of finding the pieces to put together that fit, trying to find what is common ground to those that are well connected. And every emotion from one to another, and every struggle that lifts up one another's burden that goes around when we're dealing with this game called the chessboard of life. The only thing you can find at the end of the day is searching where there's light at the end of the tunnel. And do you know that philosophy? Do you know that geometrics? Do you know that offsetting one's character inside of a shell that is already half dead, half breathing, half seeking? That's what we are, because we turn off half of what we are into the things that bring us into the fold of everything that is outside of who we truly are, meaning that you could be a great majority of 50% or so on your phone. You're checking your email, you're zooming in on the next technology advertisement, and you're being advertised to that machine I'm going to call a factor. You get what I'm saying? Money is the root that causes all men to have struggle, because it's something that all men, for the most part, can't get away from, is the love that money brings. Security, it brings comfort, it brings the world that you want to live in. You get what I'm saying? And there is no bargaining with what you may find to be fair when it doesn't come down to money, when you are not advocating for, what brings clout, what brings a conversation to people outside of, just your wants and just how you feel, as far as just doing your best for that people to feel impressed. Just that alone of how hard you work and how upright you may take a stand. They're just not there just for any reason based off of your good merit. It's what you could offer, it's what you could build as far as someone else maintaining or obtaining credentials based off what you have. That's another hard pill to swallow. And trying to fit in is like taking a gamble with success, because you have to offset the status quo. You have to realize that everything lies within the potential of taking risks, and risk could backfire very easily. And you have to have a plan, in order to move somewhere, in order to calculate on breaking bread and having a purpose that is going to be fulfilled at the end of it all. And what is it all worth? Everything is, just for the sake of becoming meaningless, when everything is temporary, everything is impermanent, nothing that we keep we can claim to ourselves. And I realize the more that I live, the more that I see, it is worth more time, energy, and solace to simply give back to every person some sort of resource that is energy, that is a heart to heart of serving, of charity, of building and sustaining, maintaining all the things that are good to be kept, that never could depreciate, meaning that your essence, in the way that you're able to offer yourself everything that is of you as an individual to what you can give as far as your expression, your talent, your creativity, to speak volumes on all levels of this world that we are in, and to speak about knowledge, and to offer an extensive hand to uplift the wounded in this world. When you give back, it is everything of what is meaningful and that is long-lasting, that sustains, beyond what I look at as impermanent in the finite sense. Your deeds, your efforts of lifting people up, making something that could last longer in terms of awareness, because your actions, whether it's good or whether it's bad, will live on in awareness, in the consciousness that is left on the earth, and people will be able to feel that energy that is left behind, because we collectively plant seeds on the earth every day, and they grow in different forms, they travel in different wavelengths, and you have to learn to just see yourself in the mirror, and you have to know that we are constantly evolving. Our minds are constantly moving into different worlds that are taking place, because there are different spiritual components that operate in the things that are invisible that you can't see. There is love, there is hate, there is powerful quotes, even by Shakespeare, that we could all say that the world is a stage and everyone is an actor playing their role. And everything that is worth something, somebody had to die for in some way, or someone had to sacrifice for. Someone had to, leave themselves with an injury beyond recognition. That's how it is. If you want something really sustainable, if you want something that is really, hard pressed for time to be on your side, you gotta put yourself out there to be sacrificed of everything that is going to be painful in the end. Your life could be everything that embodies pain that is ongoing because of everything that is piling up against you, and for things that you ought to do and things that you're not supposed to do. And then if you end up doing, you break the code of, what is morally right. If you could betray, let's say, God himself very easily, how easy do you think it will be for you to betray somebody that is your close of kin, or just any person is susceptible for betrayal by an individual who can't even remain loyal to God. This is just a saying. You know, you have to look at friends as simply not friends, but that they're acquaintances. Because you're acquainted with people that are in your life that you may get along with, you may share valuable information with each other, you may work in building each other's self-esteem, and you're trying to help each other on the path. But it doesn't mean that they're friends, they're just trying to get something from you. And this could be vice versa. You could be benefiting off of someone else's acquaintance factor tied to you. You just may not realize, you may not see the same way of yourself that you see others. See, I know that this world is always about taking. It's always about finding the next conquering event. That's why I just learned to be silent in all things that are happening that are in the world that is very complex on a daily basis. Political upheavals, social status, all these things are just part of the abstract of what real reality demonstrates. It's all part of like the game in this world that we have to play in order to be a part of, you know, society. But the more that I learn, the more that I become equipped to just operate in a way of just observing everything happening without getting caught up in the theater aspect, you know, trying to separate myself from playing the role of acting, you know, for the world to see. Like, we're always acting on some sort of stage. And this is the thing I'm just going to say, is that we are just actors. No matter what we're doing, no matter where we're going, no matter who it is that we are conversating with, we are putting on a representation, you know, just to get by, just to get things economically, sociably in this world. We are constantly putting on an acting presentation, you know, to play the part, to distract ourselves from the real questions, the real answers.